Hi, everyone. My name is Dwight Dunnigan. I'm the COO for Epinol Incorporated. Today, we're going to talk about a very interesting article. Now, up to you guys. We've attached the article for your entertainment. It is 99 pages. It is from NHTSA, the National Highway Transit Safety Authority. This is a very fun group that works really hard to make sure the highways and all things transportation stay safe. They work with DOT and other organizations. They have a very heavy presence both with Congress and the Senate. They write a lot of legislation and they advocate for safety all throughout the US. That's my little plug for NHTSA. From there, let me offer what they're doing here in this 99-page document. This is predominantly about a mandate around self-driving or autonomous driving vehicles. There's only a handful of companies out there that this impacts for now, but it's going to impact a lot more. After a recent hearing, we received a copy of this. I have a feeling from what I've read of this 99-page document, I've read the whole thing, there's going to be a lot more coming from them. So let's talk a little bit about the evolution of alcohol testing. I think most people are aware after they turn about 16 years old, maybe a little older, that there is something called blood alcohol content, and there's a rating for your state. In most states, it's 0.08. 0.08% of your blood can contain alcohol in it, and if it does contain 0.08 or more in most of the 50 states and provinces, you are considered under the influence of alcohol and too intoxicated to operate a motor vehicle. Now, though these rules and regulations do vary a little bit and some of the legal language varies per state, that is generally accepted. That said, we came to a BAC rating after decades of work in courtrooms and with companies. Many people had to be evaluated, thousands of people had to be evaluated, and multiple cases went to court refuting some states saying 0.04 was the proper amount to show intoxication, 0.01 was untolerated, right? We went through a lot from the 1970s going up to even into the late 80s. All that to say, we now understand what the BAC level is, and we tested so many people to come to that conclusion. So here's a fun question for you. What is the impairment level for somebody under the use of cannabis or cannabis products? How much weed can a person ingest? How much weed can a person smoke, or THC can they ingest into their body before they're impaired? We don't know. The short and simple answer is, as a nation, we don't know. Many states moved forward quickly to legalize marijuana. As a company, we have no fault here. We are not giving anybody blame. We're not judging anybody. Multiple states moved fast to legalize marijuana. It seemed good to them. They saw the tax potential. They saw the outcomes, the potential outcomes from legalizing marijuana. What they necessarily didn't do is take the time and do the due diligence on figuring out what is impairment. So it can be legal in the state, but it may not be legal for you to operate a motor vehicle after having consumed it. So how much is enough? Part of what we're doing in Epinol, certainly not the key focus, but part of what we're doing is trying to establish a way to show what is that level within a human body. We won't know that until we have a lot of data. Not just field trials to get our system out there to the world, but after the system's been out and sold and utilized in hopefully hundreds and thousands of different companies and organizations worldwide, we are striving to collect the data that would help us show what the concentration levels are. That is in the roadmap for this product. And hopefully, what we plan to see from it, hopefully we'll get the data quickly enough to be able to shorten that curve. BAC took way too long, America. It's over a decade to get most states to agree that BAC was a factor, let alone later agree on the amount. With more states legalizing marijuana products, for the roadways to feel safe, we have to get this done faster. NHTSA has come up with this giant document. And going back to that document, what they've said here is this. They don't want to allow automobile manufacturers to have fully autonomous vehicles on the road for an auto taxi type program where you can get into a vehicle and potentially be under the influence of something, which is why you're calling for the vehicle to come pick you up, and still have the ability to possibly take over that vehicle in the controls. They don't think that is safe, and I think most of us would agree that's not safe. In addition to that, having fully self-drive vehicles. If you have a fully self-drive vehicle, you know when you read it, and when you read the legal stuff, when you sign up for it, it tells you you cannot use this to negate impairment. They do not want you using full autonomous driving when you are under the influence. That is not the purpose of it. NHTSA is basically saying there should be a system in every one of these cars that somebody has to produce a sample to show they're not under the influence of something before they use the fully autonomous driving mode. Yes, if you really heard what I just said and you've made it this far into this short video, you now know what this document's really saying. If you have a fully auto drive vehicle, they want a standard put in place that you would have to test for impairment before you activate auto drive. Because should you fall asleep at the wheel being under the influence when it's in self-drive mode, wake up and get scared and take control of that vehicle, you would be controlling the vehicle impaired. Now, that's just one example. I could give you hundreds of examples, and I'm not going to ask you guys to watch a video where I give you hundreds of examples of how bad this could be. But that's one particular situation that could end up becoming a loss of life. All this to say, if you want to read this article, it is very well written. It is very good, and it has a lot of limitations and a lot of strategy in it. Here at Epinol, we are designing the world's first ever, never before in existence, multi-drug breath analyzing device that's also handheld. The goal of our product is to be a single-use cartridge. You blow into it, all of the science and magic that we've created exists within the cartridge. The cartridge is immediately connected to a handheld device, and it gives a reading within a minute, maybe two. That reading is going to show you exactly what's being metabolized in your body right in that instance. That's important. The lungs show us what's being metabolized in the body right away. Currently, urine shows a range of time. Saliva shows a range of time. Little more accurate than urine, but not like breath. And blood, you could go back days, possibly weeks, depending upon the drug, to see what's been in your body. Same with hair and other samples. The reason we chose breath and have spent almost a decade defining this science before we tried to bring it to market is it is the most accurate representation of what's actively in your system. So if you were to try to say to NHTSA, how are you going to solve this problem? How can we know if a driver getting in the vehicle is currently impaired? You have to test their breath. That's why we are collaborating with a lot of different entities to get this done. If you're interested in helping this process, if you've watched this whole video and you're like, hey, this sounds like something we really need, we do. These different articles that we're posting throughout our website as we continue to build our website will show you there is a massive need for this. But if you want to be part of this journey, reach out to us. There's still a possibility for you to invest in us, and you could be part of a life-changing, life-saving mission. Thank you for watching this.